A siwi coipyn gyngiac iddo horsfwyau sy'n gipling, ha Hamilton Academical yn ish iddash an y Lìog hyn iddo deisen sio. Lys gra hwla colosawn gra to dolagwydach sy'n championship, be casca fawn y hwg droch fwy iddo hwla ting y cwchelch ydych y chlub, na clychydryn lwch uproch, agos y lwch lenteng.
So obviously we've had time to reflect over the last few months, and when April seemed a million miles away now when the point deduction came, but listen, at that point I can remember speaking to the players and we made it a mini league for the last 5 games, and then to be deducted the 15 points on the Thursday night before you play Queen's Park, when you've built a bit of momentum, you're almost safe, you know you need one more win. It felt as if your heart had been ripped out. The Friday when you came in and you look at the players, the atmosphere was low, and having to try and build them back up again to go again and stay together, it was tough.
To be hit with the news that we've received a 15-point deduction, which came out of nowhere, all these different sanctions that no one even had a sniff of, and just hurt like a ton of bricks to realise that that's you being relegated, essentially, off the back of things that has just been due to sheer incompetency from people within the club.
I put my name forward to join the Accies Supporters Association, or the ASA for short, and we've very hurriedly tried to arrange a series of meetings with the board and the stadium owner, and they didn't go that well, especially with the board. And one of the things that coming out of all that is that the board have indicated that they do not recognise the ASA. Now we've got about 300 or 400 on the mailing list just now. So if they don't want to recognise the voice of 400 supporters, then I can't understand that.
Hadde sydd y dawri, fa dwliad is yn eile mych New Hamilton, le cewns bach fart na parke ha Accies yn ish, it glwsyd for Park New Douglas, gu Broadwood.
From Broadwood perspective, there's clearly been a change in relationship between previous stadium owner to existing sort of football club owners. There was sort of talk about either one, we were going to buy the stadium. That was since they came in to the club, they talked about they were always going to buy the stadium. And then when it came in there on the end of last season, like even before we got the sanctions and point deductions, etc., there was talk about this relationship's completely tarnished. We're not buying the stadium, we're going to go elsewhere. But I never really thought it was actually going to come to fruition.
The fans have went through the mill. Good, all fans of different ages. Now the ones that are older, like myself, we can remember Hamilton being away from the town for 7 years, ground sharing with Albion Rovers, Partick Thistle, and we lost a generation of fans. The longer we're away from New Douglas Park in Hamilton, the worse it's going to be for the Hamilton Academical.
It's been turbulent. You're out to go and try and bring boys in and sell the club to various different people and make sure we're in a strong position at the beginning of the season. We managed to entice players to come in and do pre-season and hopefully help us with that League One challenge. We obviously start the League Cup campaign. Then we come into the Dumbarton game and we find out on the Friday there's a transfer embargo and we can't bring anyone in. So that was a real kick. And at that point I felt the energy began to drain from the players and the enthusiasm began to go. And then we obviously get the news of the academy not being able to continue and the cash registrations having to be cancelled, which becomes a big issue for the club, because the club is built on giving players an opportunity and giving players a chance and having that community feeling, bringing players through.
Our academy out with the Old Firm, I think, was regarded as one of the best over the last 15 years in Scotland. Now that's all dried up now with the expulsion of the academy and underage groups. So we've now no players under registration. Any we did have are free to sign for somebody else, quite rightly, and we won't get any compensation for those players if they do sign for somebody else. And that is damning. That's the lifeblood of a club like Hamilton, and you know that is now no longer there, and it's all under the auspices of the current board who run the football club. There's no other way of looking at it.
Le fahan yn gyfil cori yn y dolyddwrt ydd cwl gnoich yn malwch cianich ŵr, a byg yn jagach ys y ffas gymys gwlwch lenteng, ach ac I chiarstawn ha eicl na loib cwtioch. As ynys archwg agos ynfys chiarst, a drog larger gydaich chlubba an rianach, noch stache, rwtigen na pervisse.
I've got a lot of empathy for the supporters. I think they've been great. The good bit for them is their football club is still here, albeit we're at Broadwood and we're away from Hamilton with the aspirations of returning to Hamilton. I hope there's investment comes in. I hope we can rebuild an academy and give players in the environment and the community through in Hamilton the opportunity to come back and give them a footpath to the first team.
There is a fear that things won't go well, but we definitely need a change of operation and direction for the football club, and it would be ideal if they were Hamilton Accies minded, but we need to get to that point first because we just don't know how the future is going to hold.
I've supported Accies as far as I can remember. I was raised literally a stone throw from New Douglas Park. I've got a 3-year-old daughter. She's been a mascot at the ground, she's got a brick in the stadium, I've got a brick in the stadium, so there's a lot of deep-rooted connections there. It is hard, like it makes it a big struggle supporting the football team, but it's what we're passionate about, and that even though we do have a small sort of fan base, we have a very, very passionate fan base, so it has hurt us come the end of the season. We've got good enough players to be up there. Just need to hope that the stuff off the park comes to an end.